Call the Owatonna City Council meeting for August 14th, 2017 to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Voss.
Here.
Okerberg.
Here.
Dotson.
Here.
Burbank.
Here.
Rainey.
Here.
Spenby.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Mayor Kuntz.
Here.
We have all 7 of the council and the mayor present.
Everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome everyone on a beautiful night in Owatonna. I'd like to welcome Council Member Rainey. He's joining us via Skype. Can you hear us, Kevin?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
You look pretty good on the screen there.
Thank you.
The first order of business is to approve the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brent to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the first thing tonight is a public hearing to modify Development District Number 3 and establish a TIF District 3-11. And we'll go to Troy for this.
Good evening. Tax increment financing is being proposed for Semstone to build a new facility out in the industrial park. The city has purchased property along 32nd Avenue in the industrial park to swap with property Semstone currently has along Riverside Avenue. Semstone would construct a new facility on the new site within the next 5 years. And the plan would be the city would redevelop their current site as Semstone vacates it. There would be a redevelopment agreement and lease agreement with Semstone that would be brought before the council for approval before any land swap were to happen. And so there is a public hearing for this and a resolution for the tax increment financing district approval. And then we do have Ed Cheetah here with Advanced Resources. That's our consultant here. If you want to give a little overview.
Yeah.
Good evening. Troy usually provides a pretty good overview, so I'll just add a few points to that. This is an economic development TIF district, which is always with the industries. So these have a maximum life of 9 years. This is one is going to probably play out a little bit differently because of the property swap and the idea that Semstone said they may do some things and then move on to that site over a longer period of time, maybe a couple years or something. So the numbers represented in here may be a bit high, but we figured they would get like 9 full years of increment. But if they go out there and do a third of their work the first year, that will start the district. They'll probably only pay, then they'll bring those taxes on up to the full rate, but they would get the 9 years under that scenario. So there is a little bit of the tax increment provides them a bit of an incentive to move their project once they started to do it. That's kind of really what the incentive here is for the TIF, and it would be used to pay for additional site improvements out there. The tax increment's probably one of the lesser complicated issues here. Troy and I have been working with Mark and then also Briggs & Morgan in the Twin Cities on the lease agreement and the transfer and stuff, so that all of those conditions that eventually when you swap the land, timing, when do they have to do this, when they vacate, what is the condition of the property, all of those things will be settled out in the development agreement and the lease agreement, which will come after this that'll be brought before the council when those documents are prepared. And they've had some additional meetings, because I think Troy talked, there was doing some additional environmental investigation. So there's questions like that because you're taking over a site. So, but before you tonight is just simply the question of putting in motion the tax increment district, which says once those guys start that process of moving, they create value there. We put an economic development district together. It's a pay-as-you-go district, so they'll give us evidence of their site improvements and it will be reimbursed as part of that overall development agreement. And this estimated numbers were, if they were to get everything going, we think that increment would be around $40,000 a year and potentially up to $65,000 or so would be the maximum amount of increment that would be provided.
Okay, thank you. Ed. Any questions of Ed or Troy? Hearing none, I'll open the public hearing now at 7:08. For anyone who wants to speak about this issue to modify Development District Number 3 and establish TIF District Number 3-11. There appears to be no one here that wishes to speak about it, so I'd look for a motion to close the public hearing at 7:08.
So moved. Second.
So, motion by Dave Burbank to close, second by Brent. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion carries. So that closes the public hearing. Now, I guess I'd ask again, are there any questions of Troy or Ed from the council members? There being none, we have a resolution on the table, 70-17, to approve the modification of Development District Number 3, Tax Increment District Number 3-11, and use of tax increment financing. So what do I hear on that matter?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Jeff to approve Resolution 70-17. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ed, for coming. Okay, now we'll move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of minutes, permits, licenses, board and commission minutes, other monthly reports, contracts, and agreements, all put together for the council to review prior to the meeting and vote on collectively. So what are the wishes of the council on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Nate to approve the consent agenda. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Brent. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to action items. And the first thing is the finance report. I have that in front of me here. Here's a recap of the finance report. Checks issued for over $20,000 consist of the following. $116,774 to North American Title for the 140 East Pearl property acquisition. $131,621 to North American Title for the 134 East Pearl property acquisition. $21,868 to Av Fuel Corporation for jet fuel. $43,737 to Clark Equipment for a skid steer loader. $30,000 to Finley Brothers to resurface the tennis courts. $708,521 to Holtmeyer Construction. It's the first payment on the North Cedar project. $24,249 to Magny Construction for the bar screen repair at the, must be at the wastewater treatment plant. $79,315 to Precision Roadway Services for 2017 crack sealing. $260,331 to Raw Construction for the North Straight River Trail project. $33,380 to the Steele County Auditor for the quarterly law enforcement center costs. $215,800 to Hewlin Brothers. It's the first payment on the Lamont Road project. $1 million to Viracon. That's a pass-through grant for the state of Minnesota deed. $205,048 to Wenzel Construction. That's the first payment on the street and utility projects. Other expenditures of $277,592 for a subtotal of $3,148,241. Add to that the HRA Section 8 payments of $76,906 makes total expenditures presented for approval tonight of $3,225,148.07. You've heard the finance report. I look for a motion to accept it.
Motion to accept.
Motion by Doug to accept the finance report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're on to item 3.4.1. It's the first reading of the proposed ordinance 15-17 to amend the section of the sidewalk usage ordinance. And we'll go to Chris for this.
Yeah, we're recommending to table this ordinance. Staff would like some additional time to work out some of the details on the permit process.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion to table this?
So moved.
Motion by Nate to table the first reading of the proposed ordinance 15-17. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Doug Voss. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next is item 3.4.2, the first reading of proposed ordinance 16-17 to amend the section of the vacate right-of-way adjacent to the Semco addition. And we'll go to Troy for this.
This is a request by Semco Properties, which owns the property at the corner of East Frontage Road and 12th Avenue Northwest. And at the last meeting, you had approved a preliminary plat for Semco addition. This is really just creating a buildable lot on that corner. If you remember, the frontage road used to curve. When that was all redone, they made it into a T intersection. There's been a lot of title work that's had to go into this in figuring out where everything should be, and one of the conditions of that approval was that the right-of-way be vacated so that it can be reestablished in the new plat. So the plan would be that the vacation is recorded right at the same time that the plat is recorded. So this is more of a procedural thing here. So staff would recommend approval of this vacation request.
Okay, thank you, Troy. You've heard Troy's report. Do you have any questions for Troy? Not, I would look for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brent Svenby to approve first reading of proposed ordinance 16-17. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff. Any further discussion? There being none, this is an ordinance, so we'll ask for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Voss.
Yes.
Okaberg.
Aye.
Dotson.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Svenby.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
We have all 7 ayes.
Motion carries. Next up is 3.4.3, the first reading of proposed ordinance 17-17 to amend section 32.020, the creation, purpose, membership of the Human Rights Commission. And we'll go to Chris for this.
I'm going to refer that to the city attorney.
I could
Go to
take
Mark
that.
for this.
What this is in the nature of a housekeeping ordinance to conform the language in our ordinance of who are the protected classes to make it conform and be consistent with the state statute. And so what it's providing is it's clarifying the protected classes and making that clarification so that it's consistent with the protected classes under the state human rights statute. And there's appended to the draft that you received the language from the Minnesota Department of Human Rights setting forth the protected classes.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Mark on this matter? If not, I'd look for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Jeff to approve the first reading of proposed ordinance 17-17. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any further discussion? There being none, again, this is an ordinance, so we'll look for a roll call.
Councilmember Voss.
Aye.
Okaberg.
Aye.
Dotson.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Svenby.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
All 7 ayes.
Thank you. Next up is item 3.4.4, Resolution 71-17, to set the date for a public hearing and establish Development District Number 10 and TIF Number 10-1. And we'll go to Troy for this.
So we have been working with Nikolai Development to redevelop some lots on Pearl Street. The EDA has purchased 3 properties and demoed 2 of the homes on those 3 properties, and then just recently, with council approval, purchased the last 2 homes for a total of 5. The EDA would be responsible for demolishing and clearing the site. The city would receive $150,000 from the developer. That's market value for the 5 vacant lots, and then would construct a 33-unit market rate apartment building with underground parking and balconies. The city or we are requesting tax increment financing be used, in this case, to reimburse the city the cost difference between what we have into the property and what the market value is of clear land. And in order to do that, we need to adopt or set a public hearing, and we are requesting that the public hearing be set for September 19th.
Okay, thank you, Troy. Any questions of Troy?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Nate to approve Resolution 71-17. Set the date for a public hearing. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 3.4.5, Resolution 72-17. Authorize order to correct hazardous condition at 148 West Main Street. And we'll go to Mark for this.
You may recall the situation we had on North Cedar Street in the old Auditorium Hall building, the site of the Completely Kids, where they had their collapsing wall on the west side. This is a similar initiation of a similar proceeding to correct the hazard and to abate the problem there, abate the nuisance. And so this is the first phase of a hazardous building proceeding, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to cooperate with the owners of this property as we were able to with the folks on North Cedar Street, so that we can move ahead and get the problem on Main Street resolved.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Any questions of Mark on this matter? There being none, I'd look for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve Resolution 72-17. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That concludes our action items for this evening. We now go to public comment. If there's anyone in the audience, please come up to the microphone, sign in, and please try to limit your comments to 2 minutes or less for items not on the agenda. And it appears we have no one that wants to make any comments tonight, so we'll move on to council comments, and first up is Doug.
Oh, I just want to take a minute and thank the people for the, what was it, night out, the party night 2 weeks ago?
Night to Unite.
National Night to Unite, yes, thank you. I went to 3 parties with Officer Johnson, and it was very well done. Really appreciate those people going to that effort, and it was really cool to see all the people in the same neighborhood meeting each other and getting together, and it was Officer Johnson did a really, really nice job with that group, so thank you.
Great. Nate. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeff, you're next.
Stopped at the Pirate Festival. That was a well-attended festival and was a lot of fun. I'd like to encourage everybody to go to the fair and enjoy at least a couple of nights at the fair and have a good time. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Nate, you're up.
And I also went out for Night to Unite. Officer Duchesne was great, and enjoy the fair.
Dave?
Nothing more to add.
Kevin, you're joining us tonight via Skype. Do you have some comments for us?
Yeah, first thing, I don't know if it was recorded, but just to be on the record that I am in a public area at Alina Hospital, so I'd just like to get that on the record. And did you get that, Greg?
Yep, so noted. So noted.
Okay, and then obviously everyone have a fun time at the fair this week. We look forward to it all year long, and so that'd be great. I'd like to thank Dr. Froman and his staff out here for making sure that I was able to get to the meeting tonight. Chris, I'll be seeing you for that. And lastly, I really want to thank Tim O'Connor. Tim went above and beyond the call of duty to get this Skype going tonight. Once again, another one of our absolutely wonderful city employees, so thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. I have to say you look pretty good. You even have a tie on tonight. We're impressed with that.
Always.
You take care.
Thank you.
Brent.
Get out and enjoy the fair this week.
Mayor.
Enjoy the fair.
Chris.
Well, it's not too early to do some advanced planning. So I would like you all to pencil in if possible, or let me know if you're free for our strategic planning for 2018. It would be the last Tuesday in February, the 27th and the 28th. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll go back to our, Wednesday afternoon and then finish up on the following Tuesday, Wednesday. So February 27th and 28th, mark it on your calendar. Let me know if there is some big glaring conflict. Are we good, mostly?
Yeah.
Kevin?
You talk to my daughter. She's a leap year baby. 28th is
It's your birthday? Okay, well, maybe we could be done in the morning.
Yeah, we'll be done.
Okay, all right. And that's all I had.
All right, thank you. And again, I hope everybody has a good time out at the fair. It's supposed to be a nice week, so we should all get out there and enjoy that. With that being said, I'd look for a motion to close.
So move.
Motion by Kevin to close. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're done.